What's up, everybody? I want to thank y'all for tuning in. Today's episode is Use What You Got. And this is your brother, Victory, the ambassador. And what we do, we speak victory. That's what we do. We speak victory over here on this channel. So, today's segment is entitled Use What You Got. Many times we go through life thinking that what we have is not enough. God will call us to something. God will give us an assignment, give us a vision, and we'll procrastinate and waste all kind of time simply because we feel like what we have is not enough. And I come to you with a message today to use what you got. Use what you got, because what you got is enough. See, when we take our natural and allow God to put his supernatural on it, my God, it's amazing. So, the church like to dress us up. Religion, let me say that. Religion like to dress us up and make us look a certain way. And if it don't look a certain way to religion, they ridicule it. I have had the privilege of reaching a lot of people with the gospel message. And that probably wouldn't be so if I would have allowed religion to dress me up. That probably wouldn't be so if I hadn't used what I had. And think about a couple of stories in the Bible that I want to use as examples on this topic. David is one. When David, he was anointed to be king, but he had to wait on, that time, God's timing to sit on the throne. And during that waiting period, something happened. And David's father sent him to feed his brothers who were in the army of Israel. They fought for the king. Well, when David went to take them lunch, he discovered something. He discovered that it was a situation where they were being taunted by Goliath, a Philistine giant who was undefeated in battle. And David seized an opportunity because all of the army of Israel was afraid of this giant, and the king offered up a reward, and David took him upon it. Now, David was just a kid, so that in itself was astounding. And when he presented himself to the king and took him up on the offer, the king laughed at him. And then he found out young David was serious. And so he tried to give David his armor, his sword, his shield. And David went and tried it on. Saul was a big man, tall man. David was just a kid. You know, he wasn't even finished growing. But he tried on Saul's armor. And he's like, King, this is way too big. And I can imagine if he would have went forth with the king's idea on fighting this giant, it would have spelled out disaster for him. And a lot of times we allow religion to dress us up the same way. That's another subject. The point I want to make is David said to Saul, well, look, I have this slingshot. I'm going to use this. It was what he was used to. It was what he was gifted at. And a lot of times we feel like our gift is not enough. But the Bible says that your gift will make room for you and bring you in front of great men. Your gift will make room for you and bring you before kings. But sometimes we feel like what we have is not enough. But David knew what he had was enough because he understood with my natural and God's supernatural, it's going to do whatever I need it to do to give God glory. Now, check this out. Sometimes we get stagnant in our purpose because of this one thing. We feel like we're not enough or we don't have enough, simply failing to realize that all we have to do is use what we got. You know, I remember I started feeding the homeless. I remember it was just my heart ached for them. I just remember passing by homeless people one day and just looking at them and just my heart hurting for them. And I went to the store. I got some brown paper bags. I got some chicken salad Lunchable thingies and some Debbie cakes. Put them in the bag and wrote Jesus loves you on each bag. Probably about 20 bags. And went and passed them out. And I did this every day in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And next thing you know, I had a couple people go out with me and feed the homeless. And before you know it, I had a little team who go out and feed the homeless. Before you know it, the whole city of Baton Rouge, not the whole city, but a lot of ministries. I even had a whole church, a brother that I'm connected with. He was part of this fellowship. I won't call the name of the churches because truth of the matter is I'm a person, if anybody know me, I don't care nothing about accolades. I do a lot for the kingdom. You'll never know anything about, but it's recorded in heaven. That's all I care about. But this brother at the time, he was over the evangelistic ministry. And he knew what I was doing, and he was like, bro, can you take us out there you know, show us some spots and we want to go out there and feed the homeless. They have some blankets and stuff. They had some stuff that they wanted to give. And so I'm like, yeah, cool. So I took him and their whole, not the whole congregation, but everybody that was willing to come. It was a bunch of them. We went out there, took them and showed them the spots where God showed me, the duck offs, where they be. And so, long story short, after a couple of years, the whole, like, a number of ministries was going in the streets feeding the homeless. Somebody was out there. Somebody was out there all the time. And, you know, I thought about it one day. I'm like, wow. Little old me, just having a heart for people, saying, you know what, I'm gonna go get some brown paper bags and put something in it and go give to these people and show them the love of God. That sparked a whole city of people showing compassion to these people on the street. I don't say that to get no credit. I don't need no pats on the back. My point is this. I used what I had. What I had was compassion. What I had was a heart. What I had was a few dollars in my pocket where I can feed about 20 people. Not, it wasn't much, but I don't think God looked at it like that. I think God looked at it like, this is big, you know? And so that's what can happen when you just use what you got. And don't feel like what you have is not enough. Don't feel like you're not enough. Take what you got and present it to God and use it. And use it. So David went forth with what he had. A slingshot. He went down to the stream and grabbed 5 smooth stones. And he took care of that Philistine giant with the first stone. So what I'm saying is this. God don't need you to have everything together. He just needs you to have some faith and give him what you got. That's all. So use what you got. Use what you got. Don't let religion tell you that that's not enough. Don't let religion try to dress you up and tell you that, no, what you have ain't gonna get the job done. Because what it takes is faith, and love works faith. Faith worketh by love. So what you need is love in your heart and faith. Take what you got and present it to God and say, let's do this. Let's do this. So that's one example that I wanted to share. You know, use what you got. Use what you got. Another example is when Jesus fed the multitude. You know, these was 5,000 plus people, probably, you know, 10 or 15. It was 5,000 men with women and children. You know, and there was a little boy who had 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish. Jesus said, let me get that. I can work with that. And God multiplied it and fed the multitude. Now, in the natural, the multitude of people and these little 5 loaves and 2 fish, you thinking, man, this is just enough for me and my family. We got to eat. But God said, give it to me and watch what I do with it. Use what you got. See, because what you got in your mind may not be enough. In your mind. See, now you got to take the blockers off of your mind, because your mind is getting in the way of God wanting to do something miraculous in your life and in people's lives around you. Your mind is putting a block on it because you thinking that what you got ain't enough. And God is saying to you today, use what you got. Give it to me. Present it to me. And let me do what I'm going to do with it. Let me put that supernatural effect on it. So, you know, and I said I was going to use 2, but I just thought about another one. You know, when there was a time in the Bible where Jesus was taking up offering, and, you know, all these renowned men were giving, and they were giving a lot because these was wealthy guys, right? But there was a little old lady who came in and put a mite in the offering, and Jesus stopped everything. He said it was notable. It was notable. He stopped. And he pointed out this lady. He said, look, but she has given the most. She has given the most. And what he was saying was, because, yeah, y'all dumping, y'all putting a healthy amount of money in this offering, but y'all wealthy. So this ain't nothing to y'all, but she really don't have nothing, and she took what she had and gave. And Jesus felt that it was worthy to be pointed out and brought attention to. See, when you use what you got, it grabs the attention of God. And he'll show you off and say, look at this. This is faith right here. When you use what you got. So, my brothers and my sisters, stop thinking that what you have is not enough. Because what you have is all God needs to do a miracle. Your talent, your gifts. Use what you got. Because some of y'all listening right now, it's a lot that you want to do for the kingdom, for ministry purpose, you know, and you've been held up. You've been stagnated because you feel like what you have is not enough. And the Lord is saying to you today, use what you got. Hey, it's your brother, Victory, the ambassador. And what we do, we speak victory. I'm out.